And please keep it going for your final storyteller of the first half, Faizal. Come on, Brooklyn! This is his first time.
I can't believe I'm losing my moth virginity in front of the man himself. Canoeing? Yeah. I canoe. I was a Boy Scout 20 years ago. I love canoeing. She had the best ponytail I had ever seen in my life. It was the same every day. How does my hair look? Beautiful. I'd sometimes slow down on the street so I could be behind her and see that ponytail flapping around. And it made me feel like I wanted to clap my hands. So when she asked me if I like camping, I said, yeah. I'll be in the back of your canoe any day. I might be clapping my hands all day long, but I'll be in the back of that canoe. I met her mom, and she said, oh yeah, so you're going camping. You know, this is one of the gates. There's swimming, which I did 20 years ago, and I passed through that gate. And then there's camping, and that's you know, Faizal, that's really the test. If you can camp with my daughter, you can look at that ponytail for the rest of your life. So the weekend arrived. We drove up to her parents' place, which is where she had her own canoe stored. I had the spreadsheet she had sent me the week before with all the equipment I didn't need to bring because she had it. We walked around to the back of her parents' place, and she said, you do realize we're going to portage. And I thought that was a really great sounding soup. But it meant you were carrying the canoe over your head in between lakes. And I said, I love your ponytail. And so we went around to the back of the house, and she showed me her canoe. And it was 4 feet longer than the average canoe. And we uncovered the tarp, and she lifted it herself over her head and walked to her car out to the front of the house. Her car was 6 feet shorter than her canoe. And we drove up north to one of the most beautiful national parks in Canada, unloaded the canoe, dropped it in the lake, and started paddling. And there I was in the back of that canoe, paddling away like a Boy Scout from 20 years ago, wanting to clap my hands because I had a great view of that ponytail. Every time she paddled, it flapped, and I clapped inside. And we got to the first portage. Oh, end of the lake. I had failed miserably steering in the back of that canoe a couple times. She said, all right, do you want to do this one or the next one? And I didn't know what that meant. And it meant, are you carrying the canoe this time or carrying all our shit? And when she explained that, I said, well, which one's the longer one? I'll do the longer one. Because I used to camp, and I was a Boy Scout. She said, oh, this is the shorter one. And I saw her pick up the canoe, traipse down the path, drop it back in the water with great ease. And I thought, oh, yeah, that canoe's way lighter than it looks. These bags are really heavy. And we got back into the most beautiful lake. and looked around, and there was almost no one in sight. One other canoe off in the distance. Definitely no ponytail in that canoe. Not one that would make you want to clap. And we paddled for another 2 hours and got to the end of that lake, and we were ready for our second portage of the day. My arms were falling off, not from clapping. And I said, all right, let's do this. And she helped me put the canoe over my head. And I left my ego in the first lake. And I walked for 10 minutes with a canoe, put it down, got in the back of the canoe, clapped inside, and came across the biggest moose I've ever seen in my life, 6 feet in front of us. And the joy I felt at that moment made me pee. And I wasn't sure if it was because of the moose or because I wanted to clap so hard.